Welcome back. You're still watching Afternoon Express. We're live right here on SABC3. And today we're celebrating phenomenal women. And my next guest, at the age of only 27, our next guest has not only founded Empire, South Africa's first female-owned and driven innovations agency, but she's also championing young African creatives in the world of marketing. Joining us on our couch right now is Lusanda Worsley. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Dynamite comes in small packages.
I'm tiny.
Now, Lusanda, you had a very interesting upbringing. Can you tell me a little bit more about that before we get into Empire and you, the Empire?
I did. I had a very strange upbringing. I am adopted to a white British family. So I had a really rather unique, strange view of the world. Being in two different worlds at the same time. A lot of stereotypes comes with that, but also a lot of good perspective. And that's, I think, really, drawn me to what my career actually is.
Yeah. And let's talk about your career and how you actually got introduced into advertising and PR and how you fell in love with it. Do you recall that moment?
I always say that my first true love was the television set, and my first 3 English words were all gold jam.
Oh, wow! Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've had a lot of influence from media in general, so TV commercials, movies, sitcoms. I mean, growing up watching Friends, 5 white friends living in New York is, that's how I know
the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, your upbringing, your parents, did they play a part in you choosing the career that you chose? And, what did your parents do as you growing up? What was it that was happening around you? I'm just trying to kind of put into context for somebody, that's trying to kind of wrap their world around yours.
Well, my parents are both entrepreneurs. They both have their businesses, etc. And I've never wanted to be an entrepreneur at all. I've always wanted to be, corporate, climbing up that ladder, having something secure. And I think, in the back of my mind that I knew, like, if I was going to choose that path, it was going to be okay. And they've really given me, the encouragement to kind of just jump into the deep end and kind of take what I want. And that's exactly what I've done.
And the day you woke up and said, today I'm going to start my own agency, do you remember what was going on in your head, and where did the inspiration come from, and the chutzpah and the courage to even do it?
I am a rebel at heart. I'm maverick, definitely, and I think the idea has come from my whole career. Starting as an intern, working my way up, working at different agencies from below the line, above the line, working on brand side even. I've always started to notice that trend. And unfortunately, it is the misrepresentation of black creatives. So that is what kind of really pushed me to start something completely new and something that, nobody's actually doing, but people know what the problem is.
Yeah. And you refer to your company as an innovations agency, not just PR and advertising. But what makes Empire unique to all the hundreds of agencies around the world?
First of all, I call it an innovations agency because we go against the status quo in everything that we do. We are not just an advertising agency. We are part advertising, part business developers, and part strategists. So we don't like to do things in a traditional manner. We will look at a problem or whatever and come up with different type of solutions. So it's not just specific to PR, but it could be PR, digital, experiential, and some film production work. Do you know what I mean?
I got you.
So something kind of like that.
But how did you get the first client to believe in you? And, what did you say to them? Who was your first client, and how was it landing the first account?
My first client was GH Moom Champagne.
Yeah? Oh,
so I definitely reached for the stars.
Were you popping? Were you popping GH Moom?
And it was really, I used all of my experience.
That's amazing.
To do everything, cold calling, sales, and I'm very persuasive. So I think that's kind of my character, how, you bring that out, a people's person. And just the certain skills that you use that you actually learn along the way.
And what fascinates me is 100% women, owned by women. Why that direction? Why didn't you include some guys in there somewhere?
You know what?
I'm sure they're knocking at your door every now and then to try and join the agency.
Yes, definitely. And it's not like I don't have males that work for me. And funny enough, it actually just happened like that.
Wow.
I started working, and a lot of the people around me, my creatives, publicists, etc., the people that I started to use were just females. And so I had, gotten labeled as a female-driven agency. And it just so happened to be like that, and I kind of just don't want to change it.
It sounds very cool, and it has a great feeling about it, you know what I mean? But for somebody that is in advertising or wants to get into advertising, let alone start their own, business, like I asked Priscilla earlier on, what do you say to somebody at the age of 25 or 20 or 21 who's watching the show right now and wants to end up where you are today?
I get asked this question a lot, and sometimes I'm just like, why are you asking me?
Yeah.
But really, you have to find what you love and run with it. Starting from the bottom doesn't necessarily mean that's a fail. You need to be hungry to learn, and I think that's the most important key lesson. You can't always step in a room and know that you think that you know everything. So really kind of starting from the top and starting from the bottom, sorry.
Yeah.
And, gaining as much experience as possible. But also, find what you love and run with it.
Yeah. Was there ever a point in your career when you were building this journey or building this agency where you felt like, I can't do this anymore? And what was the one thing that kept you going?
Every single day.
Every single day, right?
I've got an amazing support structure, just in terms of the people that I work with. But also, they remind me to kind of, look back at the journey and look where we actually want to go in the future and what difference we're making. The advertising industry, I'm not quite sure is very male-dominated.
Absolutely.
Specifically white male-dominated. So, whenever I walk into a room, with other competing agencies, they think that I either work for the brand or I'm a part of, empire that's run by,
somebody else.
Exactly. So whenever, Lucy or Lusanda walks in a room, they kind of get shocked when they see me, like a little black girl, oh, okay. Until I kind of have to always prove myself to say, this is who I am, this is empire.
You are an empire mogul in the making. Lusanda, you really are phenomenal. She is still going to be in the last. If you have any questions for her, shoot them off right now at Afternoon Chat, #Afternoon Express. So many phenomenal women in the loft today. I mean, I'm sure you've got thousands and thousands of questions, so do what you need to do right now.